how did you all find each other to become a few?
We're all new mums. Well, yeah, we're all new mums within like a year. And I think Ellen and I spoke first because Ellen and I we all live really close. And then I spoke to Gemma. So it was kind of a three. And then Ellen said about Becca coming along. And then eventually I said about Tarnya coming along. And we became a five.
We were doing tots groups and stuff together, weren't we? And like that, I feel like for me, that walking to church together and just chatting, you just realise you've got so much shared stuff going on, the good stuff and the bad stuff. So yeah, it was really nice getting to know Gem and Dani as like, who are we again, as you rediscover yourself as mums, and then as not being mums again. And then yeah, it's really funny because we've kind of all got connections with each other. We didn't all know each other really well.
How were the first few sessions together? How did you kind of kick off?
So we kicked off by doing testimonies, because obviously we all knew each other like sporadically or at different times in lives or different like past, present histories. So then we just got to know like each other's story, which was like really interesting and awesome.
It was before COVID, so we were allowed to actually be together, which was nice. So we just make a bit of an evening of it. So we'd just take it in turns cooking a meal.
How have you guys kind of feel like your view has changed over time, maybe as you've got to know each other better?
I think for us it was really important at the start, like defining what our view was going to be. So right from the kind of get-go, we decided we wanted it to be a place where we could be vulnerable with each other. So that was kind of why we started sharing our stories at the start. And I think kind of as it's progressed, that's just kind of built upon. Like we've had a space where we can kind of share vulnerably. I think our tendency could be we're 5 good friends, so we could meet and just chat for 2 hours for an hour on a weeknight. But it's I think because we decided we wanted to be intentional about it being a space where we could meet with God and do like a book study or bring different words and do that. So we've kind of, I feel like we've dabbled in lots of different things. At the moment we're doing a book study and kind of going through those practices. So sometimes it's been kind of getting to know each other, sometimes it's been someone bringing a word, and now it's more of a kind of study together and pray for each other.
How would you guys say that being in a few has affected your relationship with God?
It's helped just to kind of know that the few is there, just knowing that there's, you know, it is intentional, and that we can kind of just message each other whenever. It doesn't have to be in the hours of the time that we meet as a few. Again, just like with God, it's kind of helped for me to be vulnerable, but to hear like friends as well kind of bring their heart, and then it helps me to reflect on what's going on in me as well. Like someone might say something and I'm actually like, oh, that's really, you know, affected me too. And so I guess it's just helped really bring a space that I know that I can be real and honest and not be judged, or, you know, like we're all kind of quite similar, or we know, or we want it to be a place where we can also, like, you know, kind of challenge each other as well. Which can be hard, but, you know, we're trying to create that safe space to be able to do that.
I would totally agree with that point. I think especially I've just been through felt like a really rubbish month, and just have like, these guys are my people, like just knowing that there's just someone at the end of a WhatsApp thing that is like instantly praying. Like we're all married, we've all got other halves, and it's just nice having like some other people that you can outwardly process stuff with, that's not like just you and your own thoughts, and your partner who's obviously living it with you, especially during lockdown, where it's like, okay, just tell me I'm not crazy, or like, this is what I'm feeling at the moment, like, can you help me talk that through? And I think that's where like it's been like crucial for all of us at different points.
I think as well, in the beginning we were very much trying to just share with one another what our hearts were, and I think sometimes, you know, and what we believe God has, you know, the things we're passionate about, or the things we want to see, or things that we believe God's called us to do. I think we did that about a year ago, and actually there's been many times, I think, along that journey where we've had to kind of remind one another what we've said before, because I think at times you can forget, and, you know, you just kind of can get a bit bogged down with everyday life. So I think just reminding one another about the God colours that we see in each other. I think it's just a source of encouragement halfway throughout your week or whenever it is, just to tune in and reconnect.
Also, just having people who see life differently as well. I think I am naturally someone who's tuned to be not a pessimist, but like sometimes a bit of a worrier. And so to just have people who, like Dani says, who are going to call out good stuff, but then also say, oh, have you seen it from this perspective?
What would you say to someone who's thinking about sort of finding their few, or maybe meeting in a few for the first time?
I think I'd just share my experience of it. I think I'd encourage them that, yeah, it's another thing to fill your time with, like it's another Zoom call, or when we get back to meeting in person, it's another evening or morning. But actually, without fail, every time, you know, I've gone into a Zoom thinking, oh, another one, every time I've sort of come out of it, I've felt so much life and so much lighter. I think I would tell them it's a space where you are loved, you are valued, you are heard, that you're pointed to God, and without fail, they're like, these guys are going to encourage me and motivate me to pursue him more. Yeah, I think it's a space where it's the relationship you're not going to have from just meeting someone, because you have to define it and you have to work out what it's going to be. And I think I would tell them it's a really rare opportunity that you can step into and, yeah, really develop something really special.